From UFC legends like Randy Couture to fans and veteran journalists like James Lynch, the MMA community is united in its take on a Jon Jones takeover against Ciryl Gane. Still, if there's one person closely informed of the situation, it's Henry Cejudo. After all, he's the one training Jones. Henry's the Triple C: coach, combatant, and commentator. And the former double champ is using all he has to prepare Jones for his upcoming fight with Gane. Just that is enough to tell you what's at stake and how serious Bones is about his comeback fight. A former double division champion is helping perhaps the most dangerous man in the sport, Jon Bones. What could possibly go wrong? The answer is everything, but only for Ciryl Gane. Commentator Cejudo has pitched the fight plan already, telling fans through his YouTube channel that he expects Jones to finish it in 3 rounds. That's being generous, actually. It could end even quicker for the French opponent and current heavyweight champ of the world. Of course, it's Henry's take, who despite his respected status as a champ, is still Jones' trainer. But don't let that take away from the fact that out of all the opinions floating around this fight, the veteran is in the best position to call a verdict. He's observed Bones up close at his own gym in Arizona, the Fight Ready. Well, I'll bet Jones is fight ready now if his training partner's sure he can take out Ciryl in under 3 rounds. But that's also only one side of the picture. It depends on how ready Gane feels he is for the fight. Objectively speaking though, Jones had a rigorous run-up. Taking a step back from the championship may have been hard on the superstar, but it also gave him a lot of time to play his cards and settle his business. Now that he's game again, you bet he'll do his best to make up for the lost time. After spending 3 years out of the game and with a comeback at stake, I don't think he has any option but to take his opponent out as early as he can, especially in this division, which is new ground even for the legendary fighter. Not only is he fighting at a different weight than he's used to, but Bones is also fighting a legit heavyweight with a record of 26-1 in the octagon. So naturally, a lot of training goes into getting comfortable with a heavier weight class. At 205 pounds, Jones is in peak form right now, at least appearance-wise. He's looking bigger than ever before. But it also poses a lot of questions, especially about the former champ's speed. Will he be able to move just as fluidly in the cage in this new weight class? Henry, the star of Jones' training camp, thinks yes. And by the sound of it, Bones may even set newer performance records for himself. A big part of Henry's optimism is simply the fact that Jones has rekindled that love he once had for the sport. This love had proven deadly to his opponent several times and made him the youngest UFC champion. So now that he's firing on all cylinders, according to his main man Henry Cejudo, it's possible he could still go back to that peak. John's gonna need that, especially more after his last fight. After the huge name that Jones has made for himself in the UFC, you don't really expect anything short of excellent from the fighter. So when he won against Dominic Reyes in his last competition, the narrow points difference stuck out like a sore thumb. It simply wasn't what viewers expected of him. That's just what expectations do. They rise with each victory. And Jones' 26 wins, an almost career-long streak, has set him really high up in the list of greatest martial artists ever. Being that good also means it's a long but hard fall down if he slips up even slightly. With all the hype going around, it's even more likely that anything but domination by Jon will be a big disappointment. So he's doing a lot, like partnering up with Cejudo in addition to his usual camp of Gibson and Jackson. But to prove just how seriously the Rochester native is taking the threat from Bon Gamon, he also brought on a set of specialists to improve all the areas of his game. That's hard to believe given Jones initially said he would prefer to fight another heavyweight altogether. We don't all get what we want though. Jones hasn't let it douse his fire though, he's going full steam ahead. The target's not gone though, it's the heavyweight belt. The mental and physical work Jones has done to take his game up a notch only seems to confirm the progress report made by Henry. The former double champ's certain it will either end in knockout or submission. This means it won't end well for Bon Gamon. John's single-minded focus already seems very dangerous for his opponent, but Bon Gamon is having a bit of a tough training period, starting with the fact that he could have used some more time. The heavyweight is feeling the pressure, while reports are putting John in a much more confident position, at least in the training camp. On the other hand, the French fighter wasn't booked for the fight till early January. That's less than 2 months of full-time prep to take on the former light heavyweight king in the UFC. To reasonably submit or even finish the fight in his favor would require a much larger period, especially when Bones has had a bigger head start. Still, kudos to the 32-year-old who may counter the recent inactivity of Jones by doubling down on his momentum. He aims to keep the ball rolling after taking down Tai Tuivasa, a heavy hitter in his own right and known for his control game. With his record at an impressive 11-1 after that win, his chances are considerably up against his next challenger. But there's only so much you can do with limited time. Oh, and don't take this for a gripe. Gane is only stating the obvious. As his coach Fernand Lopez puts it, it's the truth, not an excuse. It's a good thing he's so aware of it. If anything but prep work, talent, and raw passion can help a fighter's chances, it's him keeping calm and ducking the pressure. With him facing the challenges before him, I'm sure Gane can take the pressure without crumbling under it. Plus, he'll need to be real about it. That's one way he can take the fight to the finish line and beyond the 3 rounds expected of him. In one way, Cejudo just did him a favor. By putting a 3-round ultimatum on the 35-year-old comeback challenger, he's raised the stakes significantly for Jones. If Gane can now keep it together even past the first 3 rounds, it would mean a lot for his reputation. It might even mean the difference between surviving and holding his own in style, way past the 3-round window. All that remains to be seen, and though I don't have the answers, even if I did, I wouldn't spoil it for you. The UFC 285 event is full of speculation as is. Jamal Hill is of the same opinion, calling it a tough one to decide in favor of either fighter. Randy Couture, though, is also predicting a tough match, but ultimately the styles don't lie, and Jones' style is one of a kind. It relies a lot on the way he takes it to his opponent instead of letting him come at him. With Bon Gamon, it might be trickier to get into that groove for him, since the heavyweight has 8 finishes to his name, while Jones has, well, 0 finishes in this division. I do think it'll be a step up in competition for both fighters. For Jones to be dominant, though, he'll want to rush Gane right off the bat. That's all as to why Cejudo sees Jones finishing in under 3 rounds.